In a world where judgment comes instantly, where a single moment can define your entire life, the truth doesn't always matter. Because sometimes people don't want the truth, they want someone to blame. And once that blame finds a target, it doesn't matter what really happened, it doesn't matter what you did, you're guilty. Not because your story is complete, but because it's convenient. And that's exactly why Jujutsu Kaisen is so different, because this isn't just a story about curses, it's a story about judgment. What's good, folks? We back, and today we're gonna be talking about JJK, and we're gonna be going into why it's so different from anything else, and we're gonna really get into Higurama's story and just talk about what it really meant. So if you really pay attention to Higurama's story, you realize it was never simple, because yeah, you see his past early, but most people don't actually process it. They just look at it and move on. This man's job is to defend people the system had already judged as guilty. And no matter how hard he fought, no matter how much evidence he had, it didn't matter. Because once someone is labeled as a criminal, that label just sticks. No matter what you prove, they just appeal it, they drag it out, and eventually the system wins, not because it's right, but because it was already decided from the start. And that's what broke them, not just the criminals, but the people around it, the ones who saw the system and never questioned it. And to give some more context, they even show you this man who went on his way to work at a retirement home and just try to help people around him and try to be a good person. But he just froze up and picked up a knife that was already bloody. There was I understand. You look at it through someone else's lens, it could be like, okay, so he just did it. He just did this good stuff and he finally snapped. But you could look at it through another person's lens and say, he saw this, he overreacted, he didn't know how to do, he didn't know what to do in this situation. And even though Higuramu kept showing proof that this man is innocent, he didn't do it, they just kept labeling him. They kept saying that he did it, and nobody wanted to look for a reason that he didn't do it. Nobody looked in to see what he did for the people around him. People just looked at, oh, you got the weapon, you did it. You got the label already. And I think the part that really broke Higuramu is seeing before the appeal. Listen, because he would always win the first battle because he would get so much evidence, he would get so much proof. And you see that they win the first case. You see that people are almost praising him. He like, thank you. Nobody believed me, but you believed in me. And then they appeal it. They go to a second trial. They go to another one. They keep losing, and eventually they get life. You can see the fire in their eyes just go out, because they've been fighting this same battle as Higuramu, and they just felt like he failed them. And that part right there, I think just seeing someone be happy and just embrace that they are free for a moment, just for it to just come back in their face and show that they had no chance in winning, I feel like that would really led to Higuramu starting to break and crumble, just to see everybody have so much hope just for it to crumble later on. When Higurama changed, it wasn't random. It was the result of constantly watching the truth lose and watching innocent lives get destroyed because of labels. Now compare that to Yuji Itadori, because his situation is different but just as heavy. Yuji doesn't judge others the same way he judges himself. Every death, every loss, every life gone, he carried it like it's his fault. And yet on the surface you could say that he's the vessel, so it's his responsibility. But if you really look into it, there are moments where he had no control, where Sukuna took over and destroyed everything. And even then, Yuji still blamed himself. Not because he chose to, but because he felt like he wasn't strong enough to stop it. And that's what make it real. Because sometimes people don't blame themselves for what they did. They blame themselves for what they can prevent. Like, you could go in your head, maybe if I would have did this wouldn't have happened. But at the same time, there was just nothing you could do. And when you really step back, this isn't just about Higurama or Yuji. It's about how people are in general. Because in real life, we do the exact same thing. Just think about every day. Like, you look on social media, you see somebody doing something dumb or someone just crashing out. You see that one moment of their life, And that becomes their entire story, their entire identity. And we don't ask what led up to it. We don't ask what they're going through. We just pick a side and stay there. And that's what this story is really showing. Most of the time, we don't care about the full truth. We just judge based off what we see. But the moment that really shows who Higuramu is when he faces Yuji. Because by every rule, Yuji was guilty. People died. Sukuna was in his body. The verdict was already there. And Yuji didn't even fight it. He admitted it. He took the blame even though it wasn't fully his fault. And that's what stopped Higurama. Because he didn't see a criminal. He saw someone who already punished himself. He saw someone who carried a weight that didn't really fully belong to him. Blamed himself for something he couldn't control. And for the first time, Higurama questioned it. Because all his life he watched people get labeled guilty even when they didn't deserve it. And now he sees someone who doing it to themselves, and that angered him. Not because Yuji was lying, but because Yuji was ready to throw his life away for something that wasn't truly his. In that moment, Higurama didn't follow the system. He broke it. And he was tired of seeing it. And if you really think about it, this isn't just something that happens in the stories. This is something people deal with every single day. There are people walking around right now carrying guilt that was never fully theirs. Blaming themselves for things they couldn't control, things they couldn't stop. And nobody sees it because on the outside, they just look like they moving on. But on the inside, they still holding on to that moment, still replaying it, still thinking, if I was better, if I was stronger, if I didn't procrastinate as much, maybe things would be different. And that's why this moment hits so hard, because Yuji isn't just a character, he's representing the entire feeling. And Higuramu, for the first time, he didn't judge on what he saw on the surface. He understood what was underneath. So maybe Jujutsu Kaisen isn't just about curses or fights, and it's not about who's right or wrong. Maybe it's about the actual perspective that you see it in. Because the next time you think you understand someone, ask yourself, did you really see the whole story, or just the part that was easiest to believe? But listen, if you like this video, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you wanna, and definitely check out the, hey, if you like Attack on Titan, definitely check out this video right here. I do a deep dive on it and talk about the whole thing. Or check out this playlist where I go into all my deep dives. But with that being said, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to, and make sure to leave a like so I know to cover more JJK content. But it's all still over. Hit the subscribe.